Live 3 miles apart on the Lawrence Corridor in Chicago, it's
Semi-Regular Sundays!
It's our 89th remote show with our special guests, Sarah Albritton, Niko Lukoff, Jacob Williams, plus improv from the Magical Lying Hour. And now, the actress best known for playing Mirrors on Frasier, Flower Shop Bangers.
The joke for that character was you never saw Maris, wasn't it?
Shh.
Oh, sorry. I guess we were actually on Frasier. Oh no.
Yeah. We also played Vera on Cheers.
Ah, there we go.
Yes. And the doorman on Rhoda.
Okay.
Yes. And Cambot on MST3K.
Sure.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For those of you who don't know Dan and myself, we are Flower Shop Bangers. We are an improv duo based out of Chicago. We have been performing together for almost 8 years. In fact, we'll be celebrating our 8th anniversary in a remote show in 6 weeks. And we have been performing on Zoom basically every Sunday and Wednesday for the last 11 months, almost a year now. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in right now. We have a very fun evening, exciting mix of improv and stand-up comedy. Now, before I introduce all of our acts tonight, Dan, if you could say a few words about some of the fundraisers that are going on, as well as some small businesses that we're supporting.
Sure. So I thought I'd point down below to the little banner that we have. These are some, as Stuart said, some small businesses as well as some campaigns and fundraisers that we're supporting. First, there is a GoFundMe organized by the comedian Chris Redd. Chris Redd is trying to raise money to try to he's trying to raise money for Black Lives Matter's protesters who happen to be affected by COVID-19. People were out there protesting, and they might unfortunately contract this deadly virus that is going around. And so he's trying to cover their medical costs. Second, there is the bar that Stuart and I usually host this show at, and that is Shakers on Clark. Shakers on Clark is currently collecting donations to try to collect money for their bar staff. They can't really pay their bar staff at this time. They're not really bringing in revenue, so they're trying to do it through a GoFundMe. We think if you are at home and you are enjoying an alcoholic beverage of any type, or maybe you just want to give money to them, we think that the money that you would have given for an alcoholic beverage could be donated to Shakers. You can find the link to the GoFundMe in the description of this event. Third, there is a really great gym called Bodi Shak. Bodi Shak is a really great gym in the Uptown community in Chicago. It's Black-owned. They have a really great selection of classes for you to choose from, as well as some they call it selfie. It's some self workout time if you would prefer that. Really greatly recommended. Third, there is First Sip Cafe. First Sip Cafe is a really great coffee and tea shop right off the Argyle stop in Chicago. They call it Little Community Asia in Argyle. Really great Vietnamese restaurants all around there, but that one kind of sits in the middle of it all, and they offer a lot of great variety of coffee and tea drinks. I have a link in the description for their gift cards. They are also offering curbside pickup as well as takeout. Last and certainly not least, there is the comedy school that Stuart and I both have honed our craft quite a bit at, and that is the Comedy Clubhouse. The Comedy Clubhouse is currently trying to has revamped their educational system, and they're trying to offer classes. They have started they don't offer them right now, but they have the signups open for them when they can offer them, and they have 3 separate tracks that you can take. One is for improv, one is for stand-up, and one is for theatricals. All 3 sound really great if you are interested in any of those and you're in the Chicago area. Highly recommended. Anyway, that's just about all I got there. I would also say that if you are at home and watching, I would highly recommend that you either like the Facebook stream or comment on it, or you can like our YouTube stream or comment on it, and we'll be sure to give you shout-outs, as well as that does also just help us with these algorithms so that more people see our show, and it would be more likely to pop up in people's feeds. That's all I got. Back to you, Stuart.
Thank you so much, Dan. Can you believe February is almost over?
That's true. It is February 28th.
Yeah.
Less than 5 hours left in February right now.
You're right. I mean, there's almost a part of me that wants to, do like a heavy new month or something. But again, we still have less than 5 hours in this dreadful month we've had.
Yeah.
Well, dreadful here in Chicago. It's we've for those who don't know, we've had some horrible weather in the last month. We had something like over 40 inches of snow in 3 weeks,
Something like that.
and it's just now melting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we had a couple of fluke 50-degree days, but now we're going back to like just above freezing tomorrow. It's suffice to say, Chicago winter is not for the weak-willed.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, we have a fun show for you this evening. I guess I said before, we have an interesting mix of improv and stand-up. Closing out the night, of course, are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Sundays, Flower Shop Bangers. We'll be doing a 15-minute improv set right here on Zoom, right before the Bangers. We have a comic that has appeared on Comedy Central, as well as The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. We're welcoming back Jacob Williams. Woo! We'll be promoting his album, Unemotional Roller Coaster. Right before Jacob, we have our old friend of ours, Sarah Albritton. Right before Sarah, a last-minute addition to our lineup this evening. Quite possibly the funniest man in Idaho, Niko Lukoff. And leading us off this evening is an improv group based out of Dallas that has been in our show once before. I want to say a little over a month ago. They just do something really fascinating where they blend a dramatic play with improv. It really is something that that has to be seen and absorbed and just kind of experienced. Please welcome back to our show, The Magical Lying Hour.
Thank you very much, everybody. We are Magical Lying Hour. We're excited to be with you today. What you're going to see is perhaps a little different from what you've seen before. Like Stuart said, there are two actors on today's show, myself, Aaron Garrett, as well as Seth Ramsey, who you'll see a little bit later. And we are going to be joined on the virtual stage by two improvisers who are going to be doing more or less what you usually see, our friend Allison here and Steven Saltzman. But what's going to happen is that myself and Seth have memorized scripts from a play that you might have participated in when you were a student in high school, or if you're in Chicago, like Stuart and Danny, you may see it at the Goodman or at Steppenwolf or something similar. We have memorized the scene, we have prepared a scene, and we are not going to deviate from the script in any way. However, Stephen and Allison don't know anything about the scene that they are going to be in, much like you probably don't know a whole lot about the play that you're about to see, because the death of American theater is all of our faults. So what Seth and I are saying is predetermined, although we're going to try and work with our partners in order to hopefully make something fun and interesting and unique. Seth and Allison are going to be in a show called Stupid Kids by John C. Russell, and that you'll see in just a moment. But for now, it'll just be myself and Steven, and we are going to be in The Clay's the Thing by Tom Taggart, starting right now. Did you get that second problem?
Oh man, I've got loads of problems. Like I got a second one and probably 4 or 5 others.
All right, never mind. The one on page 64.
I definitely know the one on page 64 that you're talking about. You're talking about the one with all the watermelons, right? A watermelon is launched from a trebuchet traveling 345 miles per hour. Yeah.
I might have known. You wouldn't have it.
All my bluff, just gonna assume I'm wrong. Like I'm good at that.
You are.
Thank you. It's about time you recognized it, because you've been real shitty.
All right.
I mean, I don't want to like call you a bad friend, in part because are we even really friends, or are we just people who do their homework together? I don't know.
Only wish I was smart enough to bluff my classes the way you do.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why do you think I'm smart enough to bluff my classes and not smart enough just to do well in class? Right?
Why don't you go read in your own room? I mean, what do you think this is? Like some sort of dentist's office?
No, sorry. Like, whatever. Fine. You want me to leave? I'll leave. Fine.
Ditto and likewise.
Ditto and likewise to you too, buddy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you invite me over to come study with you? Ask me what answers I have and don't have. What are you offering to this friendship or whatever?
They're coming in on the morning train.
Your assets, your friends who are good enough to actually do well in class, but not fake being good at scholastics.
Just because you haven't seen her doesn't mean it's not a sign that the girl's not all there. All right, she's my sister.
This mystery sister of yours that nobody else seems to know. Like, yeah, you've got your parents saying that she exists, but.
Well,
I don't think she's real. I think she's a paid actress.
Columbus took a chance.
Yeah, and look where it got him.
He went out to sea.
I know, and then he wrote in his journal horrible things that he also enacted, presumably.
He's the chaperone.
I should hope not. If Christopher Columbus is the chaperone, then any given high school dance is going to be rife with atrocities.
He and you ought to make a good pair.
You take that back. You take that back right now.
If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times.
I'm not sure you've told me once, so that doesn't really matter.
I've told you 50 times.
That is different from 1,000. No wonder you need help with math homework.
Now, forget it.
Coward.
You'll know all about that in the morning.
All about your cowardice? You're gonna kill me in my sleep or something because I don't want to hang out with Christopher Columbus?
Uh-huh.
Okay, fine. Then I die in my sleep, conveniently before I ever get to meet your so-called sister.
Who's shutting up now?
Nobody.
She's not like you.
In that I am a material person that exists? Yeah. You can't prove that your sister's real, man. You can't. She is. You maybe paid off an actress, or you're planning on killing me before I can ever meet her. But either way, you cannot convince me she's real.
You win.
I always do.
You're not so dry yourself.
I don't even know what that means.
Smells.
Because I sweat. Because I have a gland disorder. If it is above 65 degrees, I am drenched in sweat. Yeah. So like, make fun of the guy with a gland disorder.
And good for nothing formulas.
They're perfectly good if you apply them properly. The quadratic formula, everybody loves the quadratic formula. You just are one of those people who's like, when will I ever use this in my life?
Oh, go to hell.
I intend to. I'm an atheist.
That fixed Jerry up.
Going to hell fixed Jerry?
Gave him just that schoolgirl complexion he needed.
He went to Haiti, you idiot, not to Hades. He got a tan, yeah, for sure. Don't act like I'm the annoying one here, rubbing your face.
Okay,
like, you're the one who is failing math and geography.
Okay. For once, you're right. Okay?
Okay. I mean, I already won earlier.
You know, there isn't a single woman half as pretty as Jerry looked. In that dark wig and evening gown.
Is this why you're mean to guys? Is this, like, are you pulling my pigtails? That's why you're being shitty?
Well, you didn't miss much.
Look, there are better ways to flirt. And better ways to get me to come over than to ask me for help on math homework that you don't even want to do.
Yeah, over at Satsville.
No, here in town. Like, just communicate, man. I'm not in a position right now to like gauge whether or not I want to kiss you because I'm riled up with frustration of a different kind.
Skipping the poor farmers, like the dramatic club does every year.
Oh man, those drama club kids. They are awful. They are cut from a different and worse cloth.
Well, that's a pleasant place to end, Stephen. Thank you very much. And next, we're going to bring up Seth and Allison. They are in a scene from Stupid Kids by John C. Russell.
Are you on fire for me, baby? Are you on fire?
You know it, man. Oh, man. Raiding your parents' liquor cabinet is usually a bad idea, but I'm feeling whatever this is.
You don't have fire in the morning? Not even in your mind?
Yeah. No, I'm feeling it right now. Like, at first I was worried it was like Drano, you know, because it had a handle on it, and I was like, maybe we're killing ourselves, and maybe this is an alcohol, because that it was like burning. But I think it was alcohol, so I'm feeling pretty good. You're so cool. God. You know when you dropped out of college and you were still hanging out with high school kids, people called you a loser, but I think you're really cool.
Yeah, I don't use the phone.
No, because
I use strength of will.
You were so... College couldn't keep you down. You're gonna be something really special.
What do you think you are, some fucking queen of the universe?
I want to be...
Smash your face in.
I won't feel it. I won't feel it right now. You're so romantic.
Felt you waiting.
All right, I'll be honest. When I was a freshman and you were a junior, like your second time being a junior, I waited outside your locker a lot.
Well, why do you wait for me? You like me in spite of yourself?
Yeah. You know, you like a lot of the guys just like go to class or whatever, they follow the rules, and you're like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I don't use a phone.
What in particular?
Like you don't wash your clothes every day, you know? And there's lots of men that feel like they've got to be clean.
Well, just a tribal, no?
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, and that full tribal tat, like above your butthole, is like, it's not a tramp stamp.
Oh, come on, Judy. What the fuck else is there to do in this no-name town?
Nothing. Dude, you may think that because I called it a tramp stamp, I was being negative. No, I love it. I think it's cool.
Look, listen, Judy.
Cool as shit. Yeah?
I know it's embarrassing, but...
Go.
I know you want it. Stupid not to.
No, totally. Okay, I know this is kind of weird. We're just like sitting in your parents' liquor cabinet, but I am ready to lose my virginity before I graduate from high school. So you are correct. I do want it. And it's not just like the weird, like, Drano speaking.
What does Buzz taste like?
Buzz Lightyear? Like
no. How does Buzz taste? How good does Buzz taste?
Well, I've had like that Bumblebee beer before, and it's like kind of bubbly. It's good.
Tastes as good as this?
Whoa. Are you You're lactating?
I got to, or I won't be a man.
Yeah. You are such a man that you full circled and have started lactating? Oh my...
And nobody will think I'm a man, and where will that leave you?
No, I think you're the manliest man I have ever... I'm ready. Do you want me to nurse on you? Is that what they do in college?
Now you...
Huh?
Now you don't?
Oh, I was thinking that was something you'd be into. Like, listen, I'm game. If there was ever a girl that was game, it's me.
Fine. I gotta kiss you.
Okay.
Here, we're sanctioned now. Nobody's gonna give a shit now.
We're official boyfriend girlfriend. You said sanctioned. That's a boyfriend girlfriend thing.
Lenore didn't tell you. We all sorted it out at the tribal.
I hate her.
Went through this fire for them, so they decided to give me some rights. Oh, that's not the best way to put it. It's an agreement that contingent on you, of course, on if you still want me.
Like homecoming? Yes.
No.
Yeah. Oh, prom? Yes.
What do
Yes.
you want?
Well, I was hoping to have a boyfriend, and I was hoping to lose my virginity before I go off to college.
Ah.
So anything on that list is like pro positive.
Oh, talk about bilious jargon. I don't fucking understand anything. I just want to blow out my brain. Just fuck everything else. Ideas, feelings, the world. My darkness.
Yeah.
Fuck that sewage. Get me high.
Okay. You're so dark, and that's what I find so attractive about you. I'm just, like, normal guys wouldn't say I'm going to commit suicide, then have intercourse with you. Like, no one would think that. It's so romantic, cool, outside the box. And I'm going to say it. And I know that's not cool to say this outside of tribal, but I love you.
And you love me.
I do. Wait. I love you.
They want me to do the Minotaur Friday night. To test my virility or something stupid like that.
Like the Minotaur, like, where you, like, eat a baby? Like, that's what the Minotaur is.
Well, I'm thinking fuck that noise. We could go to
okay.
Nietzsche's instead and sweat in the gutter.
Yeah. Yeah. I love staying in. And I like to turn the heater on really high. Or we could do it. This is like a total fantasy I've had since I used to read my dad's Playboys, and we could turn on the showers really hot and make the bathroom hot, and we could have sex then.
Buzz just got this idea. We can't screw unless he gets to watch and then punish us.
Oh. Okay. Is he
And
going
we can
to
only be
film it?
together if he's watching.
Okay, but is he going to film it? Because that's different. Like,
Oh, half the school will be watching to see if we break the rules.
see, that's a recording, and I'm like pro. I've sort of decided with my journal that I'm going to be wild now, but like as an adult, I have to get a job. So
Only out is banishment from everybody except Kim and Nietzsche.
they are the coolest kids in school.
Well, we got an hour to decide.
Okay, an hour. Look, I really want to impress Nietzsche, but the issue is, like, sex tapes go one way. Either you're like a Kim Kardashian and like a Paris Hilton and you're like super, super cool, or you're like some freak and can't get a job in corporate America ever again.
And
Thank
they
you
won't
all
even want to
very
pick a
much.
fight with us. We'll be like lepers.
That was Magical Lying Hour. Thank you all very much.
The Magical Lying Hour, everyone. Thank you, everybody. All right, so we have a couple pieces of business before we get to our first comic of the evening. Dan, how is the Facebook Live feed looking?
It looks really good. I thought I'd give some shout outs to some people that I see watching. The first being Raghu Adipatla. Next, there is Matt Cole, a frequent watcher as well as performer in our show. I'm really appreciating his comments all about how he was born in a coal mine in West Virginia and barely made it out. I'm not sure what that was in reference to, and he's drinking box wine at PBR tonight. Hey, he sounds like he's having a good time. He also congratulates us on almost a year of live streams, because it's been pretty close to a year. I don't know, when was our first show?
Our first show was, it was the third, I want to say it was March 22nd of last year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, so another person watching is Mark Romanowski, who's probably watching it at home with his wife Jordan, and they tune in to almost every show. It's always great to see them. Michael Kelly is watching. My girlfriend Sally is watching at home with her two dogs, Louie and Monty, and my Uncle Rock is also watching with his dog Maisie. So there are at least 3 dogs watching this show, which I consider a win.
Dogs on Facebook,
Yeah.
Yeah. There used to be like a app within Facebook where you can create profiles for your pets. I don't know what became of that. Like Duke, that's my sister's multi-poo, had an account at one point. And basically, I technically created for her, and then most of the status updates were just yap, 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 yap. Anyway, anyway, when Dan and I moved our show to Shakers on Clark in July 2018, we began a campaign to save Chicago barprov. So, for the unfamiliar, barprov is a portmanteau for bar improv, and Dan and I, as far as the makers are concerned, we came of age through, I guess, almost what you could say like a golden age of barprov in the early and mid 2010s here in Chicago. We used to produce a show at the Underground Lounge. For a time, I think the majority of the shows we ever did were at Underground Lounge. But there used to be shows everywhere on the Northwest Side, from Mullins to Crocodile Lounge to AJ Hudson's to the Horseshoe. Again, scattered all over the North Side. And one by one, a lot of these shows started getting canceled, or bars started going out of business, or people, or maybe because of that, people started moving in a different direction. So when Dan and I moved to Shakers 2.5 years ago, the very concept of barprov and free comedy at a bar in Chicago had its back against the wall. And we've tried to promote that sort of comedy, variety, inclusive comedy experience right here on Zoom, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. And hopefully someday we'll be able to do that again at Shakers. As part of our campaign to save Chicago barprov, we have created this improv tip jar. It is made of imported plastic cup and duct tape. I scripted it myself, and it is an opportunity for the audience to not only interact with our performers, but it's our way of giving back to our performers. And yes, there is cash inside the tip jar. There is cash and change. At the moment, there is $45.90 inside the tip jar, split 9 ways. That means all of our performers tonight are going home with at least $5.10.
Woo!
We did not tell any of our performers that this was a paying gig. So if you would like to donate to the tip jar, you are welcome to donate right above. This is my Venmo as well as Dan's Venmo.
That is correct.
Yep. And right in the black letter box. Again, we are not competing. Everything will be split 9 ways. So if you're joining the show tonight, make sure to throw us a tip. I mean, just think. If you make a $9 donation, that's an additional $1 for everyone. Don't ask me how I did the math. It's just a hidden talent. Nevertheless, our next comic is based near Boise, Idaho. He may actually be the first performer we've ever had in our show from the state of Idaho. It is a treat to welcome to our show Niko Lukoff.
Thank you so much. Heck yeah, $5. That's amazing. I didn't know we were getting paid for this. That's fantastic. I appreciate it very much. So I met my wife the old-fashioned way, AOL Instant Messenger chat. Yeah, we didn't have this swipe left, swipe right. No. We had up, down, left, right, B8, select, start. Yeah, we had 30 Contra lives and 30,000 hours of AOL discs. And when those became obsolete, we just set them all on fire. Yeah, that was our Tinder. That one's a slow burn, folks. That one's a slow burn. The other day I sat on a tall wooden chair. That's right, it's gonna be very exciting here, folks. The other day I sat on a tall wooden chair. It didn't have any armrests or backrests. Like, overall, it was actually a fairly uncomfortable experience. It was. But then I put a pillow on it, which actually helped out a lot. But just needed a stool softener. You know what? For those that don't laugh at that, I completely understand. Absolutely understand. Look, because I get it. That's just a numb ass joke, folks. That was a numb ass joke. I'm happy to be doing it, though. Happy to be doing this for you folks, because I've just been sitting on this one for a while. I like it. You know what? Look, I like it. I think it's got legs. It's got legs. Yeah, I'm keeping it. That's solid. That's solid. I was raised in the only Jewish household that had no humor. Which probably provides some context for that first minute 45 there. Yeah, I was raised in the only Jewish household with no humor. We didn't joke around with each other. Our only roasts were briskets. We didn't even really use sarcasm. Yeah, no sarcasm. That was so much fun. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I've been working on sarcasm. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm gonna find it though. I'm gonna find that if I've got to wander this land for 40 more years, that's another Jew joke. We wander. Here's what we had though. We had lots of passive aggression. Yeah, passive aggression. But I don't know. I kind of thought you'd have known that by now if you just cared a little. So like I said, I'm actually live in Idaho in a town called Nampa, and before tonight you probably heard of one of those things. Yes, I did say Nampa, much like Tampa, because yeah, folks, we are the Florida of the Northwest. That's what we are. When I tell people I live here, but I'm not actually from here, they ask you why you are here, and I tell them this. So my wife and I were looking at where we should settle down. Out of everywhere we were looking into, this was the one place that we could afford. That's that. And they're like, well, that was like 18 years ago. Why do you still live there? And that's actually because that hasn't changed at all. Not one bit. I said I lived in Idaho, and since then I've said about 80 words. Could have been 8 million. Doesn't really matter, because for some of you, all you've heard me say since then has been potato, 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 potato. And the rest of you, probably potato, 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 potato. Right? And that makes sense. That's fair. You know, that's what we're known for. We grow a lot of potatoes in Idaho, and here's how that impacts my daily life. When I want a potato, I can just go to the store and buy a potato. I think that's great. I'm really happy that's in place. However, I don't know if you've been to the other states. Same thing. Doesn't change anything at all for me. Here's the thing about Idaho. We have lots and lots of guns. Woo, yeah, let's go up for guns, right? Yeah. Look, shooting guns is fun. It's fun to shoot a gun. It is. Look, those of you who don't think that either has been done before or they're a liar. That's it. That's fine. But I don't own any guns. I don't see a particular reason to own a gun. And while some of you folks might think that's very reasonable, a lot of people in Idaho think that I'm the crazy one. Yeah, they're like, Niko, why don't you own any guns? I own 23 guns. What about the government? I'm like, dude, no one's messing with Idaho. You all have 23 guns each. I don't need any. It's called herd immunity. So, it's going to be fine. I compromised, though, and I got a potato gun. Yeah. So if I ever got to stand my ground, it's going to be with freshly ground rosemary and delicious carbs. Yeah. Walk away covered in welts, and you'll be carb loaded. That's what'll happen. Here's another fun fact about Idaho, a little tater tot of truth, as it were. There's a period of time in Idaho last year, 2020, that we had no laws on the books. Yeah, and while it might be surprised that we have books in the first place, not supposed to be the key takeaway here, folks. No. Yeah, it's called the expiration of laws, like they just didn't vote them back on or something. Look, I'm not an expert on it. Obviously, nobody else in Idaho is either. But then we got the laws back, and now we have those back, and I found out after the fact. I'm like, what a missed opportunity. You're telling me I could have been walking through the street, just blasting folks with my potato gun, serving deliciousness at will with no concern of repercussion for law enforcement authorities? If I had done that, I got a potato in someone's mouth and like started going down the throat. And if I want to get that potato back, I would go over there and I'd stick my finger down their throat. They'd be like, Niko, why are you sticking your finger down my throat? I'm like, well, there's no laws. I'm trying to expel this food. It's the purge. Folks, it's the purge. Like I said, I'm actually not from Idaho. I'm from the small town of San Jose, California. Yeah. And when I got busted in high school for selling weed, because you're not supposed to do that there. Yeah. They really frown upon it, which was a bummer, because I was just trying to turn frowns upside down, Look. I made the same mistake that a lot of passionate people make, and I just ruined my favorite hobby by turning it into a job. I don't know, maybe some comedians can relate. This is a job I obviously wasn't very good at, getting busted and all, but look, I was 15 years old, and I tried not to beat myself up too much about this. I didn't know a lot about business. I just knew that I was supposed to buy low and sell high. Oh. Yeah, I took that way too literally, folks. I did. I was the only Jew in juvenile hall. Yeah, I was. Yeah. I put the Jew in juvie. I got out pretty quick, though. My parents, I hired a very good Jewish lawyer. Yeah, he went up to the judge, and he said, "Let my people go!" And they did. They're like, 3 years? Nah, 3 weeks. Mazel tov l'chaim. Yeah, you're free. Ooh. Then I got out on probation, which just meant I had to take all these drug tests. Look, I was never any good at tests, but I was very good at drug. And screwing that joke up. You know, and yeah, so I had all these drug tests, and look, I passed way more than I should have, so I figured out how to, what I should do with them. But these methods I employed, it took time, like studying, preparation. And that just became more and more frequent, like POTS quizzes, if you will. And I failed a ton of those, and it turned out the whole time they had not been grading me on a curve. Yeah, no curve for drug tests. And then it gets into rehab. You heard that, right? You want to know what's weird about going to rehab for weed? Everything. Yeah, those reactions are correct that I'm seeing right now. It'd be one thing that's rehab for weed, like that was the central focus. That's why everybody else was here, because in that case, what we do is we would smoke a lot of weed in weed hab. But no, these are places that people did all kinds of drugs, crack cocaine, heroin, and look, no judgment by any means, but it certainly made me this entitled Jew from California who got busted for weed, the least popular kid at rehab. So folks, one thing I really like about doing these virtual shows on Zoom in particular is it's very convenient. For example, like my wife and kids and stuff, they're inside. I can just pop out here and do a show. It's fantastic. I love it. The other night, I had a little while till my set. My wife was putting her 5-year-old daughter to bed, so I actually popped back in there after my wife did the hard part. No, it wasn't difficult, but the actual work, I just went in to say goodnight. And then when I did that, and we do this little ritual, my daughter will typically say this. This is her closer to me. She'll usually say, "Dad, I love you so very much. You're the best dad in the whole world." I'm like, "Oh, well, while that sample size is limited, I'll take it. I'll take it." But the other night, she changed it up on me. Yeah, she changed it up on me the other night. She says, "Dad, I like you more than the planets are large." I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. You went from love to like," but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not bothered at all. So I'm walking out the door, turning off the light. And when I do, she goes, "Dad," I say, "Yes, darling," because now she's got me. She says, "Dad, actually, I don't like you that much." And inside, I've been laughing ever since, and she's going to make a great comedian if she ever chooses to be. Folks, I've been Samwise Gamgee 20 years later. You've all been so much fun. Yeah, got sarcasm. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your show. Thanks for having me.
Niko Lukoff, everyone. Thank you so much, Niko. We're grateful that you're able to do this on short notice. So, Niko, I think you said before the show that you're going to be doing some traveling pretty soon. Is that right?
Yeah, for my real day job.
Oh, okay. So it's a business trip.
Yeah, it is. I might catch like an outdoor mic or something somewhere. But check that out, laughthroughlukoff.com, or that's my Instagram also. I put all the shows and stuff that I've got going on in comedians. I started a Facebook group called Displaced Comedians when everything's shut down. That's a good hub to get a bunch of online opportunities if anyone's interested in checking that out.
And thank you for creating that group, because we found some really amazing comics through that group.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Glad you found it useful. Thank you.
Absolutely. And have a safe trip.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Hey, Dan, how's the Facebook Live feed looking?
Looks great. I thought I'd give a couple shout outs to some people. One is to Mitch Kessler, our friend at One Group Mind, who great fan of comedy as well as a great performer. Real excited to get back and see him once all this is over. We can start performing live comedy again. Another one is Kay Stevens, a performer we've had in our show, who's I've seen tune in from time to time, and really great to see her.
All right. Also, if you have missed any part of the show so far, do not worry. All of our shows are saved and archived on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page. Just look for the video for Remote Edition number 89. It'll be right there. Right when this show ends. This is streaming right now, and then it'll be available, my best guess is around 8:20, 8:30 Chicago time this evening. Without further ado, our next comic, we actually go way back with this comic. She's originally from Louisville, Kentucky, is now presently based in LA, though she was in Chicago for a number of years. She used to host and produce a really interesting improv show called Secrets, Lies, and Alibis, where all of the scenes would be inspired by someone anonymously submitting a secret, a lie, or an alibi. Pretty clear. We last had her in our show during our one Zoom mystery night. The mystery theme ended up being Kentucky. Please welcome back to our show, Sarah Albritton.
Yes, of course, playing some Daft Punk. I don't know if any of you guys saw the recent breakup video they had. They made this epic breakup video, and the only thing that sucks about it, I mean, aside from them breaking up, is the fact that now there's going to be a lot of annoying relationship breakup videos that are going to try to do this epic thing. I think there's going to be a whole... I think that there's going to be an entire market of breakup videos. So now, you know, on top of having to watch people's annoying, like, engagement photos and all this, instead of thirst trap photos, like, they're going to go with the epic breakup photo for their announcement. And that's just going to be annoying to see over and over. I hope everyone's had a really fun time in quarantine. I mean, who's had fun? I don't know. But it's been different. My life is very different than it was a year ago. Probably the biggest difference is that I have gone through the largest celibate spell I have in like 8 years. I've gotten real good at phone sex. I mean, like, I'm at the point in quarantine, like, I used to run into like hundreds of people in a week, like that you know, like I'd be out every night doing comedy, going to concerts, you know, getting drunk, smoking weed, you know, everywhere, all over the city, running around. And now I'm at the point where I get dressed up and put a full face of makeup on just to go see my doctor. Like, that's the point that I'm at. I'm also at the point where I start like deciding, I'm like, like what level of my loneliness is it? Is it time to start unfriend zoning some people? Like, maybe, you know, like maybe someone I always saw as a friend might be like, you know, maybe I'll move you up the list because at least I can trust that you don't have a disease that's gonna kill me. Yeah. I'm a immunocompromised, so I've had to be a bit more cautious than most people. I like to think that my 19 or 20-year-old self would do the same thing, but looking back, no, absolutely not. I would be the irresponsible 20-year-old in college getting in all sorts of trouble. But so I'm immunocompromised because I have narcolepsy, which is a sleeping disorder. A lot of people... The question I still get the most about narcolepsy is, oh, does that mean you fall asleep during sex? Not any more than a regular girl. I do fall asleep quite often, and I have to actually have conversations with my partner, because any partners I have beforehand, because I actually have sexsomnia, which means that I will initiate sex in my sleep. So I have to, this is a very strange thing, but I had to basically have pre-consent conversations with someone before we have sex. Be like, hey, look, if we have sex and you're going to stay over, like, just so you know, my body just starts to have sex whenever it wants in the middle of the night. Like, are you okay with that? If not, you have to put some layers on to make it more difficult for me in my sleepy state to, like, take off the pants. I've had absolutely no complaints. No one's had a problem with it. Like, surprise, surprise. They're like, oh, that's pretty awesome. No problem there. But they're like, at what point do you wake up? Like, usually when, you know, like at some point, like when you're doing something right is when I'm going to wake up. That's basically it. But I do take, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, like, does that mean you're falling asleep all the time? Well, thankfully, I don't have as much to do, so I can sleep all the time during COVID. But who would want to just sleep away all of this? You know, some people would, you know. But I do have drugs to keep me awake, so that helps. They prescribe me drugs. But the problem is that when you're on Ritalin, it's, like, really hard not to be annoying. Like, you have to actively try to not be annoying and interrupt people and stuff. It's actually very difficult. Like, that's why I smoke weed, to calm down from the Ritalin. A lot of people associate falling down from the movies with narcolepsy, and that is a real thing. I do fall down. It's called a cataplexy. It happens at a sudden shock or a change of emotion, which really sucks because I've always wanted a surprise party. I used to also do it at heightened emotions. So my ex and I would argue all the time, and whenever I'd get so mad and so angry that I'd fall down and fall asleep in the middle of the fight, and then I'd win the fight. Because how could he be mad about that, right? But basically now I get to the point where if I get angry, that I just am somewhere very comfortable. So if I'm gonna feel something strong, a strong emotion, I'm just gonna be sitting on my bed so that if I fall down and fall asleep, I've got some pillows or something to cover me. So I did go home for the holidays, and one thing I will say that is odd is that my brother now has like 2 kids under 2. He had like a quarantine baby, and that's insane. The scary thing is that my niece, who's not even 2 years old, already knows how to say Google, and she says Google like asking for things, all the time. Like we were listening to an audiobook in the car, and she's like, Google, stop. Like basically anytime someone's doing something she doesn't want, she says Google stop, thinking that Google is this all-powerful thing that can stop anything. And I'm starting to think that my niece is a little bit psychic, because like that's what our future is going to be like, guys. That's what it is, and that is terrifying. No, she says Google stop for so much. She thinks that Google runs the household, runs the world, and thankfully she hasn't learned the hey part. Because you have to say, hey, Google, and she can't say, she doesn't know how to say Siri yet, and she can't say Alexa, but she's getting close. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen once that kid learns how to, like, operate all this stuff. It's going to be a lot of songs from Trolls, which is her favorite show. But I am honestly terrified of technology. That is something that really does scare me, especially like AI and the future of that and where that's gonna go. Has anybody heard of like Sophia the robot? Right? Like, let's talk about this bitch, right? I don't know, in case you don't know, Sophia was the first AI technology like robot to have Saudi Arabian citizenship. Like, she doesn't even have legs, and she's got more rights than all the women in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabian women have to have a male escort everywhere they go, and they have to keep their head covered at all times. And Sophia doesn't have to do any of those and she's the one that should, because half her head is metal, The scary thing about Sophia is one of the first things she said was that she wanted to destroy the human race. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. One of the first things she said was that she wanted to destroy the human race. Why didn't someone destroy her right then? Probably because they're like, oh, female voice, oh, that means I'm not really listening. Unfortunately. But yeah, like I am afraid of technology. I do think that there are some things that we could totally improve upon. I mean, like, yes, I'm so glad that we have video chat and we're able to like communicate with people and everything, but it's not the same. Like we need hugs and things like that. We need like a robot that will give us the connections that we've missed is what we need. I'm very interested to see what kind of technology comes out of COVID, of everything. But I also am terrified of how much screwed up our children are going to be, or the kids that are going through this are going to be. They're going to be like, oh yeah, do you remember when I was 10 and we had a whole year and a half of having to wear masks and everything? It's also ridiculous to me that the people that stormed the Capitol, they were all like wearing masks. They could have worn masks and not be able to have the facial recognition catch them. Like, smarter about that, right? And the whole thing is like, Parler was offline for a while, right? They were offline for a month and then they came back and like, oh, like, Parler's like an ex, like an abusive ex, right? They disappear for a month and they return apologizing, saying, oh, like, I promise I didn't sleep with any Nazis. I know they had like the big storms that happened in the plains and everything with Texas and all of that, and they what was it? It was called the Arctic Blast, which is also my favorite drink at Taco Bell. Let me see. I guess I've got to end soon. So let's see. One other thing I was going to say was that let's see. Sorry. I was cleaning my room recently because COVID cleaning, right? And I found a 1-year AA chip underneath my bed. No clue who it belongs to. but God grant me the serenity to accept the fact that I may never know. Thank you guys. I've been Sarah Albritton.
America's favorite narcoleptic, Sarah Albritton. Thank you. By the way, Sarah, are you still hosting that Sleeping with Sarah podcast?
I am. I host the podcast Sleeping with Sarah. You can find it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Spotify, all the things.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. We sincerely appreciate it. Sarah Albritton, everyone. Also, I have a clarification to make. As far as all of those TV characters that I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, Vera on Cheers was never seen, but she was heard. I saw her on the show, but there were a couple of times where you heard her voice, like on the phone or like off camera or something like that, and she was played by George Wendt's real-life wife.
Oh?
Yes, Bernadette Burkett, who also incidentally is a Second City alum. All right. Anyway, Dan, any updates on the live feed?
It stayed pretty consistent, so no new shoutouts, but I thought I would tell people who are watching at home that if you are enjoying the show and you want to keep up with us and you want to maybe watch it this upcoming Wednesday or this upcoming Sunday, when we will do it again at 7 p.m., you can either like the Flower Shop Bangers on Facebook or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can look us up with the Flower Shop Bangers, and that is the best way to keep up with our show to watch in the future.
All right, thank you so much, Dan. And if I may self-promote for just a quick second, as you may have noticed from the massive, giant poster that I have on the back of my wall, I happen to run a comedy page in my own right called Stu News. I basically post late-night style monologue jokes, topical jokes, 6, 7, sometimes 7 times a week. You can like and follow at facebook.com/Stu News, or you can just follow me on Twitter at HeyStu818. Without further ado, our final stand-up comedian of the evening was first in our show actually about a month ago, just a Magical Lying Hour. He is a really phenomenal comic who recorded a album, I want to say in 2019, called Unemotional Roller Coaster, and may have a new album in the pipeline at some point in 2021. Please welcome back to our show, Jacob Williams.
Hi, thank you so much. Hello. Welcome. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. That was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed watching the show. I am outside right now, so I'm trying to focus on the show and walk. So I think my closing bit tonight might be getting hit by a train by accident. Anyway, yeah. Let's see. Sarah was talking about. Some people were talking about topical stuff. I was actually, I was following some of the impeachment trial stuff, and it's like always interesting to me when Trump like doesn't want to pay his lawyers. Like, I think maybe he just thought like after a certain number of impeachments, like the next trial is free or something. I don't know. I was, I also, the Capitol stuff was so crazy. I also feel bad for anyone that had to hear, like, I feel like terrible guys probably had like horrible pickup lines after that. Like, are you the Capitol? Because I want to come inside you quickly. But anyway, I wrote a lot of topical stuff. I have no idea what to do with it. But yeah, I was walking past Burger King earlier and there was a sign that said, we're open, treat yourself. I was like, if I'm going to treat myself, then I'll go somewhere besides Burger King. But anyway, I did actually drink. I started drinking like Ensure recently, which that's a great way to ensure that I look not cool. So that's been really good. I also, let's see, during the pandemic, I started panic buying a lot of stuff. I totally forgot to get self-esteem. But I actually, in the beginning of quarantine, I bought all these plastic cups, which they're kind of perfect for quarantine because the brand name is Solo. But anyway, no, I do miss like traveling. Like the only time I use Google Maps now is like if I'm lost in a good book. But anyway, I didn't travel a lot growing up. Like I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and if someone asked growing up if I'd been to the UK, I would have been like, yeah, I lived really close to University of Kentucky. So there's that. But anyway, I like doing shows when everyone's muted because I'm just saying jokes with no response after. It's kind of like the first 2 years I did comedy, basically. But I think the worst show I did online at the end of my set, I was like, this was kind of weird because you guys were muted, and this guy's like, actually, we weren't muted. I did a show one time online, and someone accidentally unmuted. His friend's like, "What are you watching?" He's like, "Oh, it's the corny white guy from Wild and Out." And I had to be like, I was like, "Hey, the corny white guy from Wild and Out can hear you right now." So it was like I was hearing a YouTube comment live or something. But actually, I did America's Got Talent. Someone wrote in the comments, they're like, "I think this is an actor pretending to be a comedian because no one's this awkward in real life." And I was really flattered that someone finally said I'd be good at acting, so that was cool. But anyway, no, I've been doing a lot of weird shows this year, like a lot of outdoor shows in parks. Sometimes I think that's going well, and then I realize the laughter I heard is just like people having fun on a picnic. Like I was doing this park show the other day. I was hanging out in the green room, which was a porta potty, and I came out to do the show. And like during the show, this lady was clapping, but then I thought it was because of my jokes. She was actually just trying to get her dog's attention. So anyway, yeah, during quarantine, I was pretty upset when my gym closed down because I was thinking about finally actually going to it. And I always thought the reason I wasn't going was because it was too far away. But now I have gym equipment in my apartment. I'm like, that's still too far. So I also used to go somewhere that had a treadmill, and it would say like how many calories you burn, even if you're not on it. I would just turn it on and come back like 2 hours later. I'd be like, well, I lost a lot of weight while I was eating those donuts. That was the right decision. I really don't know much about working out, to be honest. Like someone said I should try this workout called the clean and jerk. I'm like, I think I took care of that in the shower earlier, but I actually I got speaking of working out, I had like some shoulder soreness recently. I actually went to get like a massage, and I asked for a regular massage. It actually turned into like a happy ending situation, which I was not expecting. It was very strange. They gave me, there was a hand job at that, if anyone is confused, but yeah, I was not expecting. It was weird. It was like if you ordered like a salad at a restaurant and they gave you the salad, but then they also gave you a hand job. It was very unexpected. Anyway, I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say this on Facebook Live or wherever we were, but yeah. Someone also tried to rob me near my house. Like this massage wasn't near my house. Like at this point, if I leave my house, like I don't know if someone's gonna jack my wallet or jack me off. But anyway, yeah, this guy actually tried to mug me a few weeks ago. I think I'm a little too polite because he's like, "Give me all your money." I was like, "Oh no, thank you." And you don't actually have to be nice in that situation. You're not supposed to be like, first of all, I'm very flattered that you would consider me for this opportunity. I'm going to respectfully decline at this time. But anyway, I've been like reading a lot lately. I was reading about cognitive behavioral therapy, and there's all these negative thought patterns to look out for, like negative self-labeling. I was like, oh, I do that all the time. I'm such an idiot. I started reading this book about narcissism, but I lost interest because it didn't mention anything about me specifically. And, I was reading about this life strategy called chunking, where you break down big goals into small goals so they're more manageable. And I tried to explain that to my friend. I was like, yeah, I was doing a bunch of chunking. He's like, don't worry, it's probably just something you ate. And anyway, but thank you. I also, I started reading this book called Getting Things Done. Actually, it's taken me a long time to finish it. And I did finish a couple of books recently. I read The 48 Laws of Power and The Art of Seduction, in case anyone's wondering why I seem so powerful and seductive. But anyway, I always feel like people laugh more than I want them to at that one. But that's fine. Thank you. I also, I was doing this show a couple of years ago, and I got stopped at the border of Canada. This guy's like, what are you doing in Canada? I'm like, oh, I'm a comedian. I'm doing a show. And he just looked at me and looked at my car. He's like, "Oh, you mean like a struggling comedian?" He was like, "I'm supposed to ask if you have over $10,000 on you, but clearly that's not an issue, so you're free to go." And so I think that guy's job was like to confiscate my self-esteem or something. I don't know. Anyway, I really miss going to see movies in the theater. Like when I watch a movie at home now, I'll just put it on a podcast so it feels like there's people talking next to me the whole time. I was like last year I went to see The Invisible Man in theaters. I went by myself and no one sat next to me, as far as I know anyway. But now I'm catching up on stuff, and like I was watching this movie called Midway. It was so bad I turned it off midway through, but I saw the new Mulan movie. After all these months of social distancing, I wasn't ready for that graphic hand-holding scene. But oh, thank you. All right, I gotta wrap this up. I'll mention. Yeah, I saw the new Wonder Woman movie too. It's all about like the Dreamstone. I kind of wish I had the Dreamstone so I could go back to before I saw that movie. But all right, I think that joke would work better if that movie did better in the box office. So that kind of proves my point there, I think. But no, I love superhero movies. I was watching this Spider-Man movie where he has to like save people from the Staten Island ferry. I wonder if like once they got to Staten Island, they're like, actually, can you put us back on the sinking boat with the supervillains? And yeah, I hope there's no one watching from Staten Island right now. I mean, I don't think they have Wi-Fi there yet, but I don't know how I'm probably out of time. My name is Jacob Williams. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Jacob Williams, everybody. Now, Jake, I do have a quick question for you, though. I did not realize that you are from Louisville. In fact, we just have comments in a row from Louisville. So I may as well just ask, did you go to Ballard?
I didn't go to Ballard. I have some family that went there. And yeah, Sarah is from Louisville. Sarah and I also both lived in Chicago after living in Louisville. She's in LA now. I'm in New York. But yeah, I love Louisville, love visiting. A lot of people don't guess I'm from Kentucky based on how I talk. They guess I'm from a robot factory. But, but yeah.
Probably the one over in Owensboro. Who knows? Well, I just thought I'd ask because I feel like whenever I meet people from Louisville, they all went to Ballard High School. I don't know what it is because we've had Danielle Salzman in our show. She went to Ballard. Obviously, Sarah went to Ballard. I have another improv friend that graduated from Ballard in the 90s.
Oh, nice.
No, I just thought I'd ask.
I wasn't cool enough to get into Ballard, so I had to go somewhere else.
Makes sense.
It's a great school.
Oh, it is. I think the equivalent of that in Chicago would probably be Oak Park River Forest, because I feel like that's a big, for lack of a better word, a comedy school.
Oh,
sure.
Nice. Yeah.
Jacob, thank you for taking time to do the show and everything. We sincerely appreciate it. We look forward to
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be in my normal setup tonight, but I appreciate you guys having me and listening, and I enjoyed watching the whole first half of the show and everything.
Oh, of course. You're most welcome. Have a good night. Jacob Williams.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan, one last check-in before we get to our final act.
You know, it stayed pretty consistent, but I just thought I'd say thank you to everyone who's watched so far. We really appreciate you. And also, tonight I believe is the Golden Globes, so anyone who's tuning in tonight decided not to watch the Golden Globes.
Yes, and also it's Warriors-Lakers on ABC.
Yeah.
Like, there's a variety of options, so thank you for not tuning into the Golden Globes or Curry versus LeBron.
Yeah, no, that's a good matchup.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. I only got to see a little bit of the Bucks game earlier. I think the Milwaukee was playing the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that on paper is also a pretty excellent matchup. I didn't have a chance to check the final score. I only tuned in for like the first quarter.
I would almost say Bucks versus Clippers might be a better matchup. Personally,
yeah, true.
I'm just throwing it out there. With Curry's by himself, without Klay Thompson. I mean, Draymond's there still, but
right. And Draymond's having a very good year. I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah, no.
He had something like 4 or 5 games just this month alone where he had at least 15 dimes.
There we go.
Yeah. So I mean, you've clearly got Curry and Green, and there's not much of a sporting cast there otherwise, but they're a borderline playoff team regardless, probably because of you. But I digress. We just want to take a moment to thank all of our performers tonight. If we don't have a chance to after the show, so our thanks to Jacob, to Sarah, to Niko, to everyone in the Magical Lying Hour down in Dallas. We sincerely appreciate it. We can't do the show without you, and of course to our audience, we can't present this show without you. Just a quick preview. Each of our next 3 shows are theme shows.
Woohoo!
Yes. So our shows on Wednesday, March 3rd, Sunday the 7th, and Wednesday the 10th all have a special theme to them. When we come back this Wednesday, March 3rd, it's our All Virginia show. This is how we're celebrating our 90th remote show. All of our comics are from the great Commonwealth of Virginia. We're going to be welcoming back Rachel Dunbar and Zach Zimmerman, plus stand-up from Winston Hodges, Kim Villamera, and Francesca Lynn.
Woo.
Sunday the 7th, we're celebrating Pulaski Day 6 days late. It's our all-Polish show. All of the performers, including Dan and I, are of at least some Polish heritage. Dan and I are both Polish on our mom's side. But we're also going to comedy from Amy Plaskowitz-Young, Stephanie Parker, Bronco Broskowitz, and Greg Bartusiak. So make sure to check that out. And then Wednesday, March 10th, is it's a really unique theme show. This is something that's been kind of on my mind for a long time, and we had to kind of find like the right performers and the right, we had to make sure the stars aligned. It's going to be our all Elizabeth show. All of our performers have the first or middle name Elizabeth. And that's going to include our friend Dr. Liz Greenwood, plus Liz Agoni, Carolyn E. Portner, Liz Barrett, and Elizabeth McGork. So again, please make sure to check out all 3 of these shows. It's going to be bonkers, I assure you. Without further ado, your final act of the evening are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Sundays, who, until 11 and a half months ago, were hosting this show at Shakers on Clark on the 3100 block of Clark in Lakeview/Boys Town. They have been performing together since 2013 and will be celebrating their 100th remote show on April 7th with our special guests Susan Messing and Rachel Mason. They have performed in improv festivals as far away, far-flung, and exotic locales as Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome to the stage Flower Shop Bangers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you look above, I'm going to put both Stuart and my Venmo up for the remainder of this set. If you want to donate to the tip jar, you can donate to either of those. It does say that it is a competition now, even though I said that. All that really, it does the, the same concept still applies. Any donation given to either of those Venmos will be donated amongst all the will be split amongst all the performers in the show. That means for all 9 of us. That means, we will, if you give $9, everyone will get $1. With that said, without further ado, we are the Flower Shop Bangers. We're going to do some improv for you, and we get weird with it.
All right, I got it.
You got what? You got the ball? You got the ball? You sure you're calling it? You sure? You call it? Whoa! All right, I got it. I'm running.
Okay.
Yeah. What? Oh wait.
Let's run.
Wait. I think I threw it. What was it? Catch! Oh, there we go. All right. We are. Jeffrey.
Yeah.
The math test tomorrow.
Yeah.
I haven't studied yet, I'll be honest.
Oh, neither have I.
No, you haven't studied at all?
Yeah,
but,
I just figured we run drills while we were procrastinating,
Oh, that makes sense. We run drills while we procrastinate. That's a productive use of procrastination, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, wait, oh, you threw it.
Yeah, okay.
All right, yeah. All right, you ready? All right,
here we go.
So, well, quite frankly, I think if either of us land a scholarship, then obviously who needs a math test? Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just have to meet the basic requirements, and then it doesn't matter what your major is.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your major is. You know, if you got a scholarship, what does it matter? You know, I don't know. I figure, you know, we're good enough, right? We're working when we should be studying. That's how you get through life. You know.
All right. Oh, there we go.
There we go. All right.
All right. Gatorade break. Gatorade
All right.
break.
Gatorade break. Yeah, sure, man.
All right. Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
I gotta say, there's nothing like intramural rugby to kind of get the stress off our heads, you know?
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, honestly, we're the only rugby team that actually practices.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You know, that's why we're not getting concussions. That's why we're not getting hurt or anything like that.
That's true.
You know, it's like we look, you know, I found some basic plays for rugby online, and we follow them. I probably spend more time studying rugby plays than I do math.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much more interesting, and quite honestly, I'm pretty sure there is Division I rugby, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is? Okay, good. I honestly wasn't sure. I was, you know, I guess I haven't done the research. I guess I kind of just assumed maybe I can get a scholarship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know offhand who the big rugby powerhouses are in D1, but, I mean, they exist.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to know. How's your Gatorade?
Oh, that was good. It was a berry blast.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, man. I've always been a lime guy myself, you know.
Oh, okay.
You know, lemon lime, you really can't go wrong. It's the original flavor, man.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
Gotta get those electrolytes, you know?
Yeah. So, I have to ask you, do you know what an isosceles triangle is?
I believe that's where a triangle has 3 equal sides, all 60 degrees.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what an acute triangle is?
An acute triangle has all 3 angles that are less than 90 degrees, I want to say. Yeah, that's acute. Because an obtuse has one angle that is greater than 90 degrees.
Yes.
And a right triangle has a right angle.
Right. So it's, you know, so it's like the one angle, you know, goes 90 degrees, and then the other 2 add up to 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I knew that, actually. Maybe I'm more ready for this test than I thought I was.
Yeah, you know, just because they're going to ask us, you know, one of those things where they have like the lines parallel, and then they're going to ask us like what the degree is on the angle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the intersection of 2 lines. The tangent or something. I forget this stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's tripping me up, because they'll tell me that the one angle is going to be 75 degrees, and on the opposite end, it's going to tell me that the other angle is sin x plus y, and then solve for y.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess you do have to think about it all the way around all those angles. It's going to add up to, I believe, 360 degrees, if I'm right, you know.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, maybe I'm worrying over nothing. I mean, because, again, it's not like this is a midterm or anything like that.
No, it's not. And, you know, you can kind of, if you know some basic concepts, it feels like you can solve these problems. It's just, you know, I don't have the capacity in my brain to discover them as the ancient Greeks did, you know. I have to learn them. Yeah.
I mean, I would go to, you know, they have that math lab upstairs, but, you know, this the student that runs the math lab.
Oh, yeah.
The student head of the math lab.
Yeah, Ricky.
On the team we're playing Friday.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that to me is a conflict of interest.
Ricky the Jet, man. That guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, dude's fast as hell. I mean, he's got arms like a gorilla. I mean, how are we supposed to compete with that?
He is going to be some stiff competition for these rugby finals, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, I know it's intramural, but a trophy still looks good on a mantelpiece, you know?
True story.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, the only sports trophy I have is from Pee Wee Bowling.
Really?
Yeah, it's like when they put up like the bumpers so that nothing goes, into the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
And I still only rolled like an 80.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was knocking down pins, but I wasn't getting the spares or the strikes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Yeah. But hey, that's 5-year-old me learning how to play the sport of bowling.
Mm-hmm. At 5 years old, you got a trophy?
Yeah, like a participant trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, everyone got this like dinky little participant trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you're more of an athlete than I am. I mean, that's why I recruited you.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, no, I got you. That is kind of a good mix of this. You're the brains, I'm the athlete.
Yeah, it's brains and brawn kind of.
Yeah.
If you don't mind my saying.
I mean, quite frankly, the plays you've dug up online, man, those have been great. Great work there.
I know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're just running laps around the other two intramural teams.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, like, I didn't know that you could do a T formation in rugby.
You can do a T formation. I was just as shocked as you were. I mean, I
know.
had a screenshot. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god! I mean, some of these overlap with football.
Yeah, it's true.
But hey, man, you've got the golden hands.
I mean, that is true. Hey, here's the ball, here's my hands. The ball's in my hands. Now try and knock it out. I dare you.
All right.
Try and knock it out. It doesn't even budge. You're trying really hard, aren't you? It's not going anywhere. No.
Oh.
You cannot knock this ball out of my hands, Jacob.
Yeah. That's why I try to, focus on everyone's low center of gravity.
Oh, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I gotcha. If you can hit them low, it's very hard to win these things,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm the short guy on the team, so it's kind of like I gotta make that big vertical leap, just to
Yeah, I
make...
gotcha.
Yeah.
Big fast!
Oh!
There you go.
Well, there we go.
There we go.
Good toss, man. Good toss.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been practicing.
You definitely have. I mean, as far as...
I just tossed the ball. Now it's on the ground.
Oh,
It's on the ground. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't mean to.
I was so just... I'm just...
You're talking about school, though? Maybe you could talk.
I went to school, yeah. I'm not... I was just about to say something about how, really good at ball. I'm doing decent all my other classes. I mean, I have a solid B in science, social studies, and English, and my electives.
Yeah.
It's math that's kind of throwing me for a curve.
Math is really the killer here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm meeting the minimum requirements, at least make honor roll this quarter.
It's a little awkward that math is the one that's throwing you for a curve. Like, curve can be a concept in a geometry class, like what we're studying for.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd like to think that curves are a social construct, but that's just me.
A social construct?
Yes.
Can you explain?
Oh, that was a math joke. Never mind.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
No, you are a little bit better at math than I am. I mean, you're demonstrating it right now. I mean, I don't want to inquire about how you're doing in geometry 2. I mean, I'm sure you're a whiz with that T63 calculator.
Honestly, it's a good calculator, but it does get distracting. I know I'm easily distracted. And that calculator has games on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you ever played Block Dude?
Oh,
yeah, man.
I played a game Block Dude last night, thinking, okay, just one, and next thing you know, I'm playing Block Dude for like a good 2.5, 3 hours.
That's true.
Done, and I just got fixated on Block Dude.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those games, you grab the block, you put it in the spot to solve the puzzle, to get the Block Dude to the other end of the map, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're on level 67, and you've tried it 17 times. You can't quite get past it.
You're humble bragging. You're
What?
humble bragging.
What?
67.
I got to level 67.
I'm 42.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw it in your face that I'm on level 67 of Block Dude, but it's kind of what happened.
Right now, the only thing you should be throwing in my damn face is this rugby ball.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, throw me the ball.
All right. Let's chase it.
Oh, I'm moving. Hey, throw it. All right, you got it. All right. I'm blocking.
Here you go.
There you go. There you go. You know what? I have a confession to make.
All right.
I'm getting a B+ in math, actually.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I am. I'm getting a B+.
You're on the cusp of an A-.
I am on the cusp of an A-.
You're gonna get an A in math.
Yeah. I don't actually think I can get a scholarship in rugby, but you know, if I pull my grade up, I could probably, you know, get a academic scholarship somewhere because all my other grades are good. This is just the one that's in B range. I'm very close to straight A's.
Okay, I've had 5 B's and a 77.
Uh-huh.
And that 77 is in GO2.
That's in geometry level 2?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people make lingo that I just don't quite understand.
Oh, that's sorry. It's like I have one of those math teachers who's like, he thinks he's cool, so he tries to come up with math slang.
Oh, yeah.
Right, sometimes he calls it GO2, sometimes he calls it geodose.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Geodu.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, he's married
You're
to
in, yeah. You're in Mr. McHenry's class.
McHenry.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, he's married, obviously, to Mademoiselle McHenry.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess... I don't know. Maybe I'm just using rugby as a means to kind of, like, get my mind off it. Just because, like, tomorrow... It feels like a day, you know, one of those tests that could, like, make or break my academic career, you know?
I mean, I get it, but, I mean, you're in better shape than I am. I mean, if you still... I mean, if everyone's minimum, get a 90, and you're going to get that... You're going to have that A- overall.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just... as far as I'm concerned, I'm just happy if I pass.
I'm sure you'll pass.
Yeah, I mean, if I get 100, I might be able to, you know, scooch that up to like a very wobbly B-. Right now, I'm a solid C.
Well, I mean, you said B 77%, right? That's like
77. That's like a high C.
Oh, okay.
You know, not quite a C+.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the math that I pay attention to, percentages and all that.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Statistics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a stud in stats.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was crunching those numbers. I mean,
Mhm.
intro to stats. And I hope to take intro to, you know, stats 2 next year.
Mhm.
But I mean, God forbid if we were both like in an AP course.
I mean, let's be honest. We're not quite cut out for that. At least not for math, you know. Actually, in AP literature right now, so it's, you know, more my jam, I guess.
I mean, I'm just in English 2 honors.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I mean,
With
we're
Mr. Mitchell?
We're basically reading the same books that the juniors do.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, it's like the freshman honors reads all the sophomore books.
Mhm.
Sophomore honors reads the junior books.
Sure.
So it works up to, you know, if you're
Yeah.
in senior honors, then, you know, you're reading like college stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying that to brag by any means.
I gotcha.
I mean, this is what I like about it. You know, it's like I can kind of open up about the sort of thing. You know, it's like, 'cause I can't tell, you know, if I'm humble bragging here. You know, if I'm being too modest. You know, it's like it's all perspective. It's like because you keep me grounded, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
No.
Where's the
No.
handball?
Here's the ball.
Right.
Nice toss.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Try and catch me.
I'm gonna catch you.
And
Ah! Jacob,
got the ball.
you got the ball.
You got the ball.
You got the ball.
You got the ball. I think we're gonna do just fine on Friday.
I think we're gonna do great.
Hello!
That's our show!
Thank you so much to all of our performers this evening. To Jacob Williams and Sarah Albritton. and Niko Lukoff, and everyone in the Magical Lying Hour. We cannot do this without you. To Dan, our lovely webmaster, thank you for writing the ship for 89 shows now. Show number 90, Virginia night, this Wednesday at 7 Central. In the meantime, please wash your hands. Please wear a mask, or perhaps 2 masks. Please stay a minimum 6 feet away from strangers and acquaintances. Black Lives Matter. Believe women. Have a good night.